California's undeniable charm boasts beautiful beaches, idyllic weather, and a wealth of activities, has long been a magnet for residents and dreamers alike. However, a surprising trend has been on the rise over the last 4 years, as a significant number of Californians are making the permanent leap to Arizona. Today, I'm going to tell you the compelling reasons shared by my clients for their decision to leave the Golden State for the Grand Canyon State. From cost-effective living to abundant outdoor adventures, these factors collectively paint a picture of why Arizona is becoming an enticing alternative for those seeking a change from the California dream. Let's talk about Arizona. So look, I think we all know there's a lot to love about California. I love visiting California. I've thought about moving to California in the past. And actually the 13 reasons I'm going to tell you today why Californians are moving to Arizona are the exact 13 reasons why I would never move to California, but I get to go visit when I want, so there's that. Yeah, California, there's a lot to love, but there's reasons, very specific reasons, that my California clients have come to me and repeated over and over, this is why I'm moving to the state of Arizona, specifically here, to the Phoenix Metro, to Scottsdale, East Valley, Chandler Gilbert, West Valley, wherever it might be, somewhere here in the Phoenix Metro, we're getting flooded with Californians. So I'm going to tell you today why that is, and we're going to start with reason number one, and that is home prices. Now listen, if you live in Arizona, if you're an Arizona resident, if you're a Phoenician, you've been here for a couple decades, you're probably not loving our home prices right now. They've gone up. They've gone up significantly over the last decade. Part of the reason is the influx of people coming from other states that are cash heavy. They bought real estate in the past, they had a lot of equity, and they moved that money into Arizona. So now a lot of Arizonans can still afford real estate here if you choose. I always say, look, there's two reasons to buy. Number one, if you can afford the payment of the house that you want. Number two, do you have a long-term plan? This is how Californians have actually done it, by the way. And it's not just California. It's Chicago, Seattle. All these people are coming for the same reasons. Home prices, guys, is a big reason. We think here in Arizona our home prices are high. People are coming from California, they're coming from Seattle, Portland, Chicago, New Jersey, New York, and they're like, your real estate is cheap, right? So number one, they're coming here because of the affordability, but the main affordability factor that they're looking at are our great home prices. Now, number two is a big one, and it's something that's maybe just a little bit more recent. You're hearing a lot about this in the news, but we have lower crime rates as a whole. Now, of course, that does depend on where you're going in the Phoenix Metro. So if you're moving into downtown Phoenix, certainly we have more crime in certain areas that are centrally located in Phoenix, as opposed to North Phoenix, as an example. Scottsdale is a fantastic place, very popular for folks coming here with money. Scottsdale and Paradise Valley have lower crime rates across the board than most of the nation, specifically for violent crimes. Very, very low rates. And we're hearing, look, I mean, we're seeing it in the news. We're not just hearing about it. We're actually seeing it on video. We're watching some of the crime that's taking place in some of these cities that, I hate to say it, I'm not going to get political, but you know what? Defund the police was probably a bad idea. We didn't do it here. We're one of the major metropolitan cities that actually, we've done some things that I probably wouldn't completely agree with as it pertains to policing, but we didn't defund the police. We didn't completely destabilize our communities and our cities. And so number two on that list is people are just tired of getting crime rate, whether it's San Francisco or LA or any of the major cities out there. They're tired. I have clients that have come to me and said, Todd, we live in this San Francisco Bay Area, but we will no longer go downtown San Francisco. That's how bad it's gotten in these cities. They don't appreciate their cities anymore. And these are some of the most beautiful cities in the world. So again, number two on that list is crime. You know, I created Phoenix Homes and Hotspots to connect homes with the lifestyle around those homes using the power of video and community. What's up, everybody? My name is Todd Hall. I'm founder of Phoenix Homes and Hotspots right here in beautiful, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, if you're moving to the Phoenix Metro or thinking about moving to Phoenix, Scottsdale, and you want to know not just where all the great homes are, but what is the community like that surrounds that house, and as well as all the local hotspots in the area, restaurants, shopping, hiking, golf, whatever it might be, you've come to the right spot. We're going to connect all the dots for you. And listen, if you're coming out to the Phoenix Metro, you want to do some of our homes and hotspots tours, all you got to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. That way we can be your key to AZ. Now, number 3, kind of going hand in hand a little bit with crime, is homelessness. It's not that we don't have homelessness here in Arizona. In fact, we do. And not to get into the long history of it, but a lot of that homelessness came from California. There were a lot of homeless folks that were actually bussed down here into downtown Phoenix, which kind of created our area that we call the zone, or kind of our tent version of tent city, if you will. However, there's a lot of areas around the Phoenix Metro, a lot of communities. When you go north is where our most desirable real estate is. And so you have very low crime rate as you go north. Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, as I mentioned earlier. Sorry, we shifted to homelessness, but you're going to find very little homelessness in those cities. You know, and then the newer areas of town as you get out to the outskirts, whether it's East Valley, where there's some of the best schools, by the way, or when you get out kind of the West Valley out towards Goodyear, Buckeye, you're just not going to see as much homelessness. So a lot of it is centered around downtown Phoenix, or that central Phoenix corridor. And so homelessness, not that we don't have it, every city has it, but certainly not at the levels that you're seeing, you know, in the Tenderloin in San Francisco, or what do they call it in LA? Skid Row in LA. So anyway, that's another big reason. People are just really getting tired of seeing all these homeless encampments pop up and nobody doing anything about it. Number 4 on this list, we talked about overall affordability. We talked about home prices being low. One of the reasons that it has nothing to do with home prices, but low taxes actually keeps your mortgage lower if you're not buying with cash. And so our property taxes, for most people coming from some of these expensive cities, like I mentioned earlier, we're about 1/3 of what their taxes are. So if you figure you buy a house in North Scottsdale for $2 million, your property taxes usually are about 0.5, 0.6% of the purchase price. It's about 1/3 for most people. And what people are telling me, my clients coming from some of these cities are telling me, is our property taxes are about 1/3 of what they're used to paying. So again, it increases your overall housing affordability when your property taxation is that low. So number 4, fourth reason that people are coming here, low taxes overall, but specifically with our property taxes. Now, going hand in hand a little bit, number 5 on that list is our overall cost of living is lower than it is in California, especially the major cities like San Diego, LA, San Francisco, and those major city and population centers. Overall, our cost of living is lower. It always has been. Now, admittedly, gas has gone up everywhere. Phoenix, we've gotten hit a little bit harder. I'm going to admit it. We've gotten hit a little harder with inflation. We've gotten hit a little harder with gas prices, but we're still way cheaper than California. So whether you're at the grocery store, gas pump, or you know, just out doing things, you know, just eating out, nightlife, whatever it is, again, overall, we've always been much more affordable than has been California. All right, so here's reason number 6. People that are coming here have a lot of pride in their state, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're coming from California, it doesn't mean that you're abandoning your state. You might be abandoning things happening in your state, but you're not abandoning your pride in your state. Reason number 6 is really important. Why Arizona instead of, say, Texas or Florida or Idaho or some of these places where there are Californians go to those states, Park City, Utah. But why do so many come to Arizona? And the reason that I find from my clients is because we still have close proximity. You can still drive to the beach in California from Metro Phoenix in 6 hours or so. Now, for me, that's nothing. I don't mind a 6-hour drive to get to the beach. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather live on the beach, but we've already talked about it. it's just not affordable, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense from a lot of different factors. And so a lot of people are coming to Arizona instead of Texas as an example, because they can still get in the car and drive home, or their past home, or the area that they grew up in that they still consider home, and they can do it in a relatively short amount of time. They can get out to the beach, they can get out, they can visit family, and they can do all those things. So the close proximity is one of the reasons they choose Arizona as opposed to choosing some of the other states that they might choose for that affordability factor, that safety factor, and some of the things that we've already talked about. Reason number 7 that people move here. Listen, Arizona is still pretty damn cool. There's still some cool things here. Let's just talk about some of the things that you could do here in Arizona that make it a great state, specifically here in the Phoenix metro. Scottsdale, let's flip over to Scottsdale for a second. You're going to find some of the best restaurants, you're going to find the best nightlife, and some of the best shopping right there in Old Town Scottsdale. It's really kind of the epicenter of entertainment here in Arizona. And so now the restaurants, you have great restaurants in downtown Phoenix, midtown Phoenix, uptown Phoenix, Paradise Valley, the East Valley. I mean, you have great restaurants and some of the best, most renowned chefs here in the Phoenix metro with some amazing culinary experiences. So just entertainment, shopping, nightlife, restaurants is one of those cool things that there are to do here. If you look behind me, you're looking at Camelback Mountain. There's some amazing hiking and outdoor activities. Some of the best golf courses in the country are right here in the Phoenix metro between Scottsdale. But look, it doesn't matter where you live in the Phoenix metro. If you want to live in the West Valley, you're a tee shot away from a great golf course. I mean, there's just really amazing golf all over this valley. People plan their vacations to come here and play golf. So lots of great outdoor activities, amazing parks for the kids, green belts that run 12 miles long through entire cities, biking trails, hiking trails, mountain biking trails, fishing lakes, things that you wouldn't even imagine that we have here in a desert area like Phoenix Metro are here. And so look, it's a cool place to live. It actually feels like home to a lot of people when they get here, myself included. I grew up in Seattle. I lived in Orlando, Florida out of college. I lived in Las Vegas. When I got to Phoenix Metro, this place just felt like home to me. There was just something different and special about Phoenix. Hey, if you haven't gotten enough here on this YouTube channel and you want more great content on what to do while you're visiting the Phoenix Metro, I just created a new Facebook group. It's called Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. So when you're done here, head over there. I'm going to show you all the top hotspots in and around Scottsdale, Arizona, from restaurants, nightlife, shopping, golfing, hikes, special events coming to town. I'm going to do some video walkthroughs with local owners and them walking you through their hotspot. And you're going to get lots of great local residents and their recommendations for what you should do while you're visiting here in the Phoenix Metro. So again, when you're done here, head over to the Facebook group, Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. We'll see you over there. Anyway, like I said, yeah, you're still close to California, like we said in reason number 6, but number 7, they realize, they come out here and they visit, like, hey, this place is pretty cool. And so that's reason number 7 is Phoenix is pretty damn cool. Number 8 is school choice. Now, if you have kiddos, this one's really important. I have some friends that moved to California not too long ago, a couple of years ago. They moved to the San Diego area, and one of the challenges they had, and this is when the real estate market was really, really hot, and they were pigeonholed, right? They had a certain school they wanted to send their kids to, and so they had to select a home from a certain neighborhood or a certain section of the city, right? Not very big. And they had to find a rental home. They went out to rent, they found a rental home, and they had to sacrifice the home to live in the district. Folks, the awesome thing about Arizona is we have school choice, meaning that you do not have to select your home based on the school district. Okay, you can actually use an open enrollment process and go anywhere you want in the valley. So not only do we have the public schools, of course, but we have some great public charter schools, and we have really great private schools if you want to put your kids in some of those private schools. And that's all over, again, all over the valley. I will admit, Arizona is not known for the most amazing schools in the world, but again, that's why you want school choice. If you're living in a district where you don't love the school, that's why school choice is so important. And oh, by the way, California schools, a lot of those California schools aren't that great either, but your kids are stuck in them, okay? So here you have school choice. It's a really, really important reason. I have a client a couple years ago. He called me up and he said, Todd, I'm moving to Arizona. I need to give my kids a better life. That's crazy. I'm thinking, like, what third world country are you coming from? And he's coming from California. Like, that's how crazy it had gotten for him. And so it wasn't specifically school choice for him. It was a lot of other things, but school choice was certainly one of those things that was important to him, having 3 school-aged kids. Number 9 is the community, and more specifically, you know, I'll say that people here in Arizona are just a little bit less judgmental. So I'm going to use the COVID era as an example. During the COVID era, I remember coming out of that when masking was no longer required, and I remember walking into the grocery store. I did not have a mask on. And again, this was after masking was no longer required, literally the day of or the day after. I walked in the grocery store with no mask. 19 out of 20 people were wearing masks. Do you know that not one of those people looked at me funny? Not one of those people scowled at me, kicked at me. Like, they didn't care. Everybody lives their own life the way they want to live their life. And that's one of the cool things. Now, I do have to say this with a caveat. I do know people that have moved here from California that have California license plates that every once in a while will find somebody on the road that doesn't like them very much. So Arizonans, and the reason for that is because, look, Californians and people from other cities have come in and really hiked home prices up. You're coming in, you're beating out locals with cash offers. And so there's a reason for that. So there's a little caveat. It's kind of a little ironic caveat that I have to put on that. So when you move here from California, change your license plate right away, guys. Don't keep that California license plate. But anyway, as a general rule, we're very much a live and let live state. And I think there's a lot of people that don't live in kind of a little bit more of authoritarian states, not so much live and let live, that really appreciate that about this great state of Arizona. All right, moving on to number 10 is our growing tech industry. Look, when I first moved here back in 2004, the number one industry, the number one employer, I should say, here in the state of Arizona was Walmart. Now, I'm not even sure if that's changed. I'm not sure who our number one employer is now, but here's what I do know about Phoenix Metro. We have a booming tech industry. Again, thank you very much, California, for that, because a lot of those businesses are coming from California and they're bringing higher paying jobs. So again, thank you, Governor Gavin Newsom, for sending not only your people to strengthen our economy, but thank you for sending your businesses to strengthen our economy. Because look, as much as Arizonans may not like all these people coming in, it does make our economy much, much stronger. It's very hard to thrive as an economy if your population is decreasing like California versus increasing like Arizona. All right, reason number 11. Again, I'm not going to get down a very long political rabbit hole here, but certainly we know the political environment is much different here in Arizona as opposed to California. Again, I'm not going to go really deep into it, but I'm just telling you what my clients say. They're fed up. Here's what Arizonans think. Arizonans always say there's this myth, this don't California my Arizona. I will tell you, 9 out of my 10 clients that come from California do not have a mindset that they want things to stay the same. They're coming here for change. And so they're probably aligned with you pretty well, Arizonans. If you get to know some of these great Californians that I've gotten to know, you'll find that their morals and their objectives probably line up really well with yours. 9 out of 10 has been my experience. So anyway, with that being said, I'm not going any deeper into politics, but number 11 is the political environment here in Arizona. They find more attractive than what's happening in California right this moment. All right, reason number 12 is traffic and congestion. Folks, if you live in LA, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in San Francisco, you know what I'm talking about. You know, San Diego. One of the cool things about Phoenix is that I don't know exactly where we rate now. A couple years ago, an article came out and said that Phoenix was one of the highest rated cities for low traffic for a major metropolitan city. Doesn't mean we don't have traffic, but I will tell you this, when people come to town and I start touring them around Scottsdale, East Valley, even into the central Phoenix area, people are like, Jesus, where is everybody? The traffic is really light. And sometimes these are in like really prime times of the day where you should have a lot of traffic, but overall, traffic and congestion, yes, there are going to be times of the day on the freeways, rush hour, through central Phoenix, under the tunnel. Yes, you're going to get some bottleneck. But if you compare it to what's happening in California, in those major metropolitan cities, we do, maybe I should say it like this, we do a really great job of keeping up with infrastructure. So you go out to the East Valley where they're building all new homes and new developments, and you'll see that right from this jump, they're starting to build 2 or 3 lanes going in each direction through residential neighborhoods, planning for all the future development that's coming. So we use our tax dollars wisely, and we build infrastructure really wisely. And that's really what separates us from a lot of states, but specifically from the state of California. Sorry, Californians, I'm gonna keep saying it until you move here, right? There's just a lot of benefits to keeping up with the infrastructure and keeping some of that traffic congestion at a minimum. And oh, by the way, it also keeps your gas prices low. The less you sit in traffic, the less you spend in gas every single month. So there's that. And then reason number 13, this is kind of a post-COVID thing. So last but not least, reason number 13 that I've had so many California clients come out here over the specifically the last several years since COVID, is they could work remotely. What does that mean? Well, they could keep their California jobs and their California pay and live in Arizona and work from Arizona. So you have California pay with an Arizona cost of living. Can't tell you how many people came out here and either bought homes or second homes for that purpose. So reason number 13 is that they had that ability to work remotely. Hey, did you like that video? Show me some love. Hit the like button down below, drop a comment, let me know what your thoughts were. Then be sure you subscribe and tap that alert bell. And from there, I'm gonna do all the heavy lifting for you. We'll create the content. We will notify you every time we create new popular videos right here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots. And then check the description below. I have some other related videos down there, or you can check out 2 of my most popular videos right here.